There are two things that you need to do in order to get started blogging. One of them is to find a place to host your blog. In other words, a server that will always be turned on so that when people want to read your blog, it's always available on the internet. And the other one is to register your domain name, which is what your blog is called. So in this case, their website is called HostGator.com. And so you would need to think of an original name for your blog and register that as a domain name. So let's get started with setting up hosting. I recommend HostGator for any type of hosting service that you might need, whether it's a website or a blog. I've been using it for about 2.5 years now since I started working with self-hosted blogs and websites. They have excellent live chat service and have been able to solve any problems that I've come across. I'm a self-taught web designer and blogger, and they've been really helpful about helping to educate me on how to do these things. So what you want to do is you want to look for web hosting. So you can click up here on web hosting, or you could look here, view web hosting plans. So here we'll go and have a look. And just scrolling down here, you can see that we can get started with HostGator web hosting today. If you don't think you're going to have more than one website, then you can start off right here with their hatchling plan. And it says now 20% off. So you have to decide if you want to get 20% off of 1 month, whether you want to get 20% off of 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. If you go with the 3 years, it's only going to be $3.96 a month. And if you go with a higher, a shorter amount of time, it's going to be a higher monthly fee. So you might decide you're going to go for a year and see how you make out with this. I really wouldn't recommend going with just a month at a time or even 6 months, because these things can take a little while to get off the ground. So if you want to choose a year, you just click on this and then go to Order Now. If you think you're going to have more than one website, you can go with the baby plan and save 20% right off the bat on these prices. But if you don't know for sure that you will, then it doesn't hurt to start with the hatchling plan. You can always upgrade your plan later. So I'm going to go ahead and click Order Now. And that's going to take us to a place where we can choose a domain name, and since we haven't got one yet, we would go ahead and type in our domain name here. You may or may not have your domain available. See, it says please enter another choice. Yourdomainname.com is unavailable. So someone has registered that already. But if you just came up with some kind of a .com name and they said it was available, then you'd be able to register that new domain name. So these random numbers that I've just typed in are apparently available to be added to my cart, and I could choose to be a .com, .net, .org, .biz. All these different options are available. But we would just stick with. So I've added this, the domain has been added to my cart. So I'll just speak a little bit about your domain name. The most recent blog that I've been starting is called lisalista.com, and it has a catchy name. I came up with it because it's a nickname that I have through my Latin dancing experience. We always give ourselves, people give you crazy nicknames that have to do with who you are. So lista in Spanish means ready. So I'm Lisa Ready. I'm always ready to dance. So lisalista.com was the name that I registered. And oftentimes you're trying to find a domain and it just isn't available. So if you had a really cool idea for a website and you thought you might want to call it Amazon, and you type in the words Amazon.com, you find out it's actually unavailable. Go figure. But it gets harder and harder to come up with original domain names that haven't been taken that are .com. So sometimes you do end up having to look at a different extension, and that's fine as well. But try to be creative and come up with something that you like. And it really doesn't need to be anything too mainstream. I mean, you look at things like Craigslist and Kijiji, they have different names that they don't really mean much to anybody, but they seem to be very successful. So once you come up with a domain name that is available, like some random set of letters here, I don't recommend using something crazy like this, but you'll come up with a good name when you're happy with it, and you'll just scroll down here and see that we've chosen the hatchling plan for 12 months, and that will be $5.56 cents a month, and that is the 20% off rate. and then you have to choose for yourself a username and a security PIN. And then you have to enter your payment information here. You can choose to pay by credit card or by PayPal. And then we'll just scroll down here and look at our final invoice. And we've got our domain. We've got our domain registration. And I'm just unselecting all these add-ons. I don't think they're necessary. You can read them over if you like, but you don't need them. But what we have down here is free 24/7 live chat and email support. We have instant account activation, 45 days of money back guarantee, and then we have our plan fees. So we have our 12 months of hatchling plan at $66.72, and we have our domain registration at $12.95, and that is for my this one crazy bunch of letters and numbers. And so that would be $79.67 to get started, and that will be the only fees that I'm going to incur for the first year of my blog. So, hopefully I'm going to make lots of money on this blog and more than cover these $80. But let's say you're just running a hobby blog and you don't really plan to make much money, then, $80 is your annual outlay that you can expect. So click off the terms of conditions and then create your account, and it will instantly create the account for you. Then our next step is going to be downloading WordPress and getting our website or blog started.